Current Review. My name is Tshwane, sometimes known as TT, sometimes known as Chairman. And we are back in this 59th episode of the Current Review on Central News. In this special edition, we explore the economic freedom fighters' new role within the executive leadership of the Tshwane Metro Council. Following the recent political shakeup, the EFF has secured two key mayoral committee positions, overseeing the critical portfolios of environment and agriculture management, as well as health. Today, we are joined by Godwin Ratikwane, the whip of the EFF caucus in Tshwane, to discuss the party's vision for these roles, their priorities for the residents of Tshwane, and how they intend to address the challenges facing the city. We will also delve into the criticisms the EFF has faced from opposition parties, particularly from the DA, and get insights on how the EFF plans to navigate these complex dynamics. Mr. Ratikwane, thank you very much for joining us. Welcome to the Current Review. To start with, can you give us an overview of what it means for the EFF in Tshwane to be part of this executive team, particularly in these two significant portfolios?
Yeah. No, greetings to you and the viewers. So it seems like we have a bit of a lag there on network, but greetings to you and the viewers. As the EFF, we are delighted that once more we're given an opportunity to demonstrate our capabilities as the government. In the city of Tshwane, for the first time, the EFF has taken two mayoral positions, and we believe that we're going to be able to excel and demonstrate to the voters and the residents of Tshwane that the EFF is an alternative government that can also take over even much bigger roles in government in the future.
And just because you're saying that you want to demonstrate just what the EFF government will be capable of doing, do you believe that the roles that you've been giving will allow you in order to be able to showcase that particular capability?
Yes, look, the city is dirty, and you always find situations whereby there's not been consistent service delivery that is being rendered by the people. And time and again we experience occasions whereby services have been rendered to the affluent areas of the city, and I believe that in this time we're going to be able to provide those services to our needy and the marginalized poor communities. Health is also a very important a portfolio that we are heading as the economic freedom fighters. We know that it is not accessible. The clinics and the public health facilities that are owned by the government in general, they're in a poor state. So those are very critical, and they are not boardroom portfolios. They need you to be hands-on on the ground, and we are confident that we'll be able to actually get enough mileage.
And the DA has been quite vocal in their opposition to your inclusion in the mayoral committee, claiming that it could be detrimental to the city. How does the EFF respond to these criticisms, particularly suggesting that the EFF might bring instability into the council?
Yeah, no, look, I mean, once the white supremacists in the form of the DA and AfriForum are comfortable with the EFF, our people will start to question the EFF. But once you find that they're uncomfortable, they raise signs that they're not comfortable with us being there, then it means our mandate and the mandate of the people is still in the safe hands. So we are actually happy that they are not comfortable with us, and that is exactly what we intend to do as the EFF, to make the comfortable uncomfortable and the uncomfortable comfortable, because they can coexist.
And with fighter Obaking Ramabodu now responsible for environment and agriculture management, what specific goals do you have as EFF for this portfolio? Are there any immediate initiatives that residents should look forward to?
Yeah, look, that portfolio is critical because if you check, there is a lot that is happening in our townships. Like I've already alluded earlier, we have townships that are really not serviced by the white government of the DA, were not serviced by the white government of the DA, and we had to constantly see protests all the time because the residents were crying for service delivery and they were longing for the city that they want. Today, the MMC for Environment and Agricultural Management, which is Obakeng Ramabodu, was conducting an oversight in Atteridgeville. Yesterday, he also joined the workers who were doing the clearing of the city cleaning in the CBD yesterday, just to show you that much as soon as he was sworn in, he ensured that he hit the ball running, ground running, yes.
And for health, a similar question. Are there any specific initiatives that you are targeting?
Yeah, so for health, we have a lot of challenges equally. Our system is overburdened. We have no services. There is lots of appointments or vacancies that needs us to address. A lot of positions that are not filled. We know that also there's quite a few things that we need to do. The EFF striving for a 24-hour clinic. That's what we need to be focusing on as the EFF. We're going to make sure that we go out there. We're still also reviewing the IDPs will come up with a proper program of action, because of course you deal with these things in conjunction with different other political parties because you're in a coalition. But once you've got that right, you are able to now start to rolling out services and the service delivery programs that are going to ensure that in that particular sector we're able to make a difference to people's lives, because health is quite fundamental and is key. And because South Africa is moving towards privatization of health, where those with money are getting the best health services, those without money are getting mediocre, we have to go out there and rationalize the system so that even if you are not having a medical aid in the city of Tshwane, you should be able to get proper quality health care. And Councillor Tsogofatso Mashabela also have already visited 3 clinics in Atteridgeville. I think it was Pumulong, and then it was Atteridgeville, and the other one was Gazankulu Clinic. Already, just to take the challenges that the staff and hardworking staff in most of the time just overworked because of the vacancies that I was referring to within the system itself. We're already there. We already rolling. We're going to now get the in-depth knowledge of what are the problems that they are facing, and then move with speed to address them.
And just maybe just a little bit into this question on health. We normally have an idea that, like, we normally know, in fact, let me put it this way. I know that health is normally a competency of the provincial government as well as national government. Now, as a municipality, as a city, what role does actually Tshwane play in the health sector?
Yeah, look, there is institutions of public service or public health service that are governed directly by the provincial government, which generally is your high care facilities. You're looking at your calaphones, for instance, as a hospital, but you also then have those that are really the clinics that are managed by the city and so on. So it's different spheres of government that must work together. So, for instance, you'll have national that will be advocating for the same things that the province will advocate for, and then most of the time implemented by local. So it's about having that synergy within the 3 spheres of government to ensure that a local, province, and national, they work to common goal. So for us, it's not a competition.
Okay.
To rationalize the system, come in, and ensure that everything works.
Thank you for that. And the EFF has been in opposition benches there in Tshwane for some time, and now that your role, I don't know if you're going to be both opposition as well as leading the city. How are you going to manage the two? Are you going to be a referee and a player at the same time? How is it going to happen?
No, so the EFF exists as a political party, and then once you are in council and you are the government, in a sense that you are in a coalition government, there is the EFF that might have its own programs that then directs what the deployees or the MMCs deployed by the EFF do in government. So technically, we're going back to our manifesto, making sure that whatever that we do, we check whether it aligns with our manifesto, and then we were able to then roll it out. So the EFF will still be a vocal political voice outside government. So the EFF might also critique certain things. So that doesn't mean once you are in government, you automatically agree with all the parties that you are in coalition with. That's
But
not how it works.
will
There
you be
should be that
critical from outside? From outside, as you're saying, will you be able to critique what's happening inside?
yeah, so they will not there is different platforms as well, because you can critique in a sense of wanting to grab media attention on certain things with other motives, but you also can see it because when you are in Mexico, you are able to advocate for the program of the EFF and the vision of the EFF and things that you've captured on your memorandum or on your manifesto, depending on where you're sitting, and then you are able to bring it. And then in an event that there is certain things that might bring about some level of or a need for the EFF to come out clear to say this is our position, the EFF will do that without shame, because you don't collapse your political party on the basis that you are in a coalition. And the fact that you're in a coalition doesn't mean that you do away with your manifesto. So the manifesto remains in place. And then what you then do is to check what are those key things and then start to prioritize them, because the manifesto as well might have a whole lot of things. And then what you then start to do, you look into what is it that is implementable now. What are the quick gains that we can do so that we change and the lives of our people?
So it does seem like there is a strategy for ensuring that the collaboration within the coalition is smooth as possible. Considering the diversity of views, given the fact that you are with different political parties, the ANC, Action SA, and maybe others, what in particular is this strategy to ensure that you guys are going to be able to execute your tasks while the government works smoothly in the city?
Yeah, it's about appreciating that neither party has the majority to run and take decisions. And once you have mutual respect for different political parties, and also establishing forums that you are able to use when you've got disputes amongst the political parties that will be in government, I think a lot of things will go smoothly. And also, we want stability. We don't want the enemy to sit there and be, celebrating the downfall of this particular government. So it is important that all parties that come, that are part even now of the leadership of Tshwane in terms of its executive and so on, are on board, and they've got they speak in one. And in this case, so far we are happy with the developments because we're able to sit and talk and discuss issues to the latter and then find consensus across the board. You don't see public spares, and we know that that's not going to happen. You know what happened with GNU? There was public spare the first week already. Madam Zille was already telling Balula that they didn't read the agreement that he had signed, and so on and so on. So we are here, and we know that the majority of the different political parties and their leadership will carry this thing through until 2026. And then hopefully in 2026, the EFF then will be voted to become the government that the people deserve and the government that will deliver services to our people.
So the roles that you have been given now, you're saying that you want to use this as a way to demonstrate your capacity to govern. Is that your vision, that you want to be able to win an outright majority maybe in 2026? This in balance, you think that there are a lot of people who are actually saying that no party will be able to win any of the metros in Gauteng, with an outright majority, and therefore there's going to be a continuation of coalition governments, into the future. With that in mind, do you foresee yourselves working with the ANC in, with the ANC, Action SA, and others, with the exclusion of the DA, in future governments of coalition there in Gauteng, in particular in Tshwane?
Yeah, look, we contest elections to win outright as a single party, and that's what we will strive to do as the EFF. We are rebuilding structures. We're going to a national conference. We're ensuring that we are ready to service our people. We don't contest elections with a view of forming part of the coalition government. It becomes the next alternative that you get once the voters have already made up their mind. But the EFF remains the most disciplined organizations, the organization that we know that it is a growing organization with a few hiccups here and there. And we know that with the EFF, its current leadership, its current structures, it's quite a structured and well documented organization that is very organized from top to bottom. And we know that we don't have to make plans for coalitions. All we need to do as the EFF is to campaign to win. And we know that our people daily, we educate them about the EFF, its policy position. And one day our people are going to be comfortable to vote for the EFF outright without having to go through this coalition where you are even engaged in coalition at the last minute and so on. Yeah.
What do you say to criticisms like, this new government there in Tshwane is not going to be able to do anything new because you are inheriting a budget which has already been adopted by council, which was the budget which was brought to the city by Celia Brink. What difference are you going to make in terms of the implementation of your mandate as the new executive?
Yeah, look, the issue of the budget and the IDP that is already rolling and so on, it remains a challenge that if you ever get to be elected in this particular at this particular juncture, it will become a situation or a problem. It's not really a criticism, but it is the reality that once you get elected when there is already a budget, you stand to face those kind of challenges. But there is also quick wins that we can do. We can clean the streets. There is already budget for it. There's already budget for a number of things.
I'm not sure if it's us who are experiencing a lag, but there is a communication breakdown between ourselves and Councillor Tshwane. There in Tshwane, we may have to cut this interview, but we have been able to get at the majority of the questions that we wanted to ask him. And at this point, I think we can wish them success in developing the city of Tshwane for the residents of Tshwane. He does not have the opportunity to close, but thank you very much for having joined us. We are going to be back with the next one sometime in the future. I mean, not say next week. The future could be tomorrow. We're out. Godwin?